Imagine a world of sustainable, renewable energy for everyone, where there is a very slim chance whole regions can lose power on the hottest days of the summer or for a week in the deadly cold of an icy winter. In June 2012, a widespread, long-lasting storm comprised of a series of inclement weather moved across large parts of the Midwest over to mid-Atlantic states. In addition to all the property damage caused, 4.2 million people lost power. In some areas, power restoration took 7 to 10 days. In February 2021, the state of Texas suffered a major power crisis, the worst energy infrastructure failure in Texas state history, leading to shortages of water, food, and heat. More than 4.5 million homes and businesses were left without power, some for several days. Some energy firms made billions in profits due to them being able to pass extremely high wholesale prices onto consumers of $9,000 per megawatt hour. State officials initially blamed the outages on frozen wind turbines and solar panels. However, data showed that failure to winterize power sources, primarily those of natural gas, had caused the grid failure. I propose future designers focus on an entire design infrastructure which ensures everyone has access to electricity. Standardized designs will integrate solar power up front into any new builds. Renewable power resources are already being increasingly incorporated into policy frameworks today. This drive of change is important to the future because it prepares everyone to have electricity, but the possible solutions boil down to politics and money rather than technology alone. In July 2021, as part of its European Green Deal, the European Commission proposed a legislative package to raise renewable energy targets to 40% by 2030. It includes measures to make large-scale solar projects easier to install, exempt rooftop installations from construction permits, invest in the power grid, and require minimum levels of renewable energy in certain buildings. The Department of Energy released a report outlining how solar could supply nearly half of the nation's electricity by 2050. Solar will rise from powering 3% of the nation's electricity in 2020 to 40% by 2035. President Joe Biden's proposed and heavily debated $3.5 trillion budget plan, if passed, initiates solar projects to be built on current or former mining sites, creating jobs for builders and regular maintenance. Tesla ran into trouble assessing the difficulty of certain roofs. The complexity of roofs varies dramatically. If an existing roof has perturbances or problems with underlying structure or is not strong enough to hold solar tiles, the cost can be 2 or 3 times higher than initial estimates. Therefore, solar panel retrofitting is expensive and not as efficient. That said, retrofitting, when possible, will assist future renewable energy usage standards to include most of the world to have solar power. In my proposed 2070 design initiative, there will be government subsidies to retrofit roofs older than 15 years. Solar is destined to keep up its momentum and expand across the world. This design standardization plan will lead to the increased ease of adoption for homeowners because it is built into the original home, and the cost will be included in mortgages and rent, which will support improved efficiency due to upfront integration. It will also lower the cost of solar solutions because of being implemented to scale in building design industry standards. In addition to policy changes, I would be remiss not to mention that because energy supply facilities typically last several decades, it is predicted they could dominate solar power generation between now and 2050. Also, expanding the solar industry dramatically from its relatively minuscule current scale may produce changes we cannot pretend to foresee. We must recognize future solar deployment will depend heavily on uncertain future market conditions and public policies. As solar power continues to expand its reach, further advances and investments are needed for its future to shine brighter. Solar energy is an effectively limitless resource, but construction of renewable power must compete for a finite amount of land. Analysis through the Science for Environment Policy Study predicts that by 2070, the world could produce plenty of electricity from renewable power, even at the lowest available land estimates, to meet power needs in most countries. My design solution fully standardizes the integration of solar power systems into built designs to meet ongoing and growing electricity needs. This will address the potential of our biggest obstacle, making it easier to get solar power in homes and businesses. The next level of design should be to support an entire infrastructure to benefit when non-renewable resources are inevitably depleted. This drive of change is important in the future, so home and office building designs can fully integrate solar power, which supports car charging ports for the inevitable increase of electric cars, and battery storage so energy collected during the day can be used at night when solar collection is not happening. 2070 should witness the successful operation of a federal standards design team organization of collaborating lawmakers, forward-thinking innovators, electrical code experts, architects, builders, engineers, and developers to advise appropriate and efficient ways for implementation. The good news is, existing known design fields are already familiar with current and some future proposed solar power technology. Future design thinking and processes will be structured as a government department spearheaded by this collaborative consortium, determining standards to ensure relevant expertise helps propel the solution forward. Our brighter future of renewable solar energy integration in 2070 is within reach, and we must start the movement today for a better tomorrow.